Test, Test, Test. So, hello everybody. Let me give me just a second to make the last preparation. So Discord should see my stream now, at least my screen, my desktop, and YouTube as well. Audio test, yeah, looks great. Okay, then don't let us waste any time and we start directly with the weights ratio as usual. We have here the weights ratio 1 hour time frame, but let us go back to the 1 day time frame. Sometimes that's really helpful. And if we check the 30-hour moving average related to the weights ratio, we can see that we are lifting up at the moment, so indicating that weights are sending more bitcoins to the exchanges. And let me see if we can see that here. Even the net flow is indicating, at least for the last days, except yesterday, it was more green than red, indicating more inflows than outflows. But as mentioned many times in the past, that's indicating a net flow for all exchanges, spot and derivative exchanges. We can see here that the stablecoin reserves on exchanges was rising and is declining even more right now, indicating that, well, actually that traders are taking stablecoins out of the exchanges. And we can see also here that stablecoin supply is also declining even more. So that's not really bullish, as you know. That's indicating that traders are redeem some stable coins, so sending back to the treasury and converting those to fiat, central bank money, US dollar, euros, whatever. We have here the 1 hour time frame, and we can see here that the weights ratio at the moment maintains a relatively high level at 0.87%, so that's really big, indicating that most of the bitcoins flowing to the exchanges are from whales. But at the same time, if we take a look to the 30-hour weights ratio moving average, we can see here we had our peak here that was actually somewhere here, and now we are declining. So they are sending, even if it's still high, but as you can see, it was actually all the time at 1.0, so indicating actually all the Bitcoin inflows to exchanges came from weights, and it's declining a little bit. So they had enough, or they accumulated enough bitcoins on exchanges. And I will show you that, because we can also let us confirm that with the bitcoin reserves on spot exchanges to see if that's rising or declining, if they are buying and declining their reserves, or even selling or accumulating on the exchanges, for example, for a potential dump. That's always possible. We have here the stablecoin supply in 1 hour. It's stable at the moment, maybe lifting up, but that's, now I would say it's almost neutral. It maintains its level. But the stablecoin reserves on exchanges, as you can see, since just few hours, is lifting up again. And we are talking here about almost 300 million US dollars in stablecoins. So that's interesting, just to see if that's related to the spot or to the derivative exchanges. And we have received more bitcoins to the exchanges in the last hour, so also very interesting to see that. That's not bullish at all, but at the moment we need to see what happens next. Let me check the spot exchanges just to figure out and to bring some clarity here. So the orange curve, as you know, it's the Bitcoin and it's very flat, very flat. I mean, for today, it seems the maximum we can see here is 300 Bitcoin. That's absolutely nothing. And this morning we received more. It was 900, almost 900 Bitcoin in one transaction, it seems. But also that's not really big. We can see here that we have received 10 hours ago 76 million in stablecoins, but the net flow here in stablecoins is indicating more outflows than inflows, so they are selling. They are selling, it seems, assets and taking some stablecoins with them. Also not really positive for the market. And that's the Bitcoin reserves on spot exchanges. And just to mention that once again in one sentence, when this Bitcoin reserves on exchanges is rising, it means we are making an internal transaction and we are buying, for example, Binance is buying some Bitcoins from Coinbase just to raise a little bit of Bitcoin reserves because, for example, they expect a huge demand in the next days. That could be possible. At the moment, I doubt that happened. And the other way is that weights are selling their Bitcoins to the spot exchanges. And as you can see, since the 22nd, it rised, it dumped a little bit, it was stable here, then it has risen again a little bit, and even it's lifting up. So they are sending Bitcoins to the exchanges, and that's not bullish at all as well, because that's indicating these guys are accumulating on exchanges, and I don't know why. And that's happening since the 22nd. It wasn't the case before, and every time when we had such a situation, we had the dump afterwards. So yeah, let us check. So we have figured out that we received some stable coins and also some Bitcoins, but as we have checked just a few minutes ago, it wasn't related to spot exchanges. And as you can see, we have a spike here in stablecoin inflows related to derivative and even Bitcoins to derivative. So that's something interesting. So that's my future trading chart, and the red line is the funding rate, and the funding rate was actually making the roller coaster move and maintained. It's declining, so many are expecting, actually it seems, a bearish price action very soon. Based on the information I have checked right now, I would say they are right, but usually when retailers think that the market is going to do the opposite, so we need to check. What happened to the open interest? The open interest was rising, it declined, I guess because the price action was bearish and they liquidated some longs, and it's rising again. So more contracts are coming to the they are placing more contracts, future contracts on derivative exchanges, and we have our leverage ratio indicating if these guys want to play risky, and as you can see, yes, they are ready to lose their money. It's at least a high leverage. I know some specialists out there, they use high leverage and they do it very well because they are almost 99% sure that that's going to end well. But yeah, I don't like to see such a high leverage ratio actually, because that gives the market makers the opportunity to liquidate them very quick. Except, of course, it's the market maker. And that's a theory I have, but I can't prove that. The stablecoin inflows here, as you can see, 286 million just 2 hours ago. And also here we can see Bitcoin inflows to derivative market. So stablecoin margin future contracts are receiving some money, it seems, and the same for the coin margin contracts related to Bitcoin. In my opinion, I still I mean that's my sense for the market. When I have 1,000 Bitcoin and I want to use a coin margin contract, so I want to place a future, it doesn't make sense for me to use it and to short my underlying asset with my Bitcoin, because I'm losing money at the same time, or at least I'm not optimizing my profit with that, because my collateral asset is also declining in value. So when I see, for example, such kind of inflows related to derivative markets, when I see some bigger inflows, usually I would say these guys are planning something bullish, because they like to use stablecoins to short Bitcoin, but usually they should use Bitcoins to long it. And as we can see here, I mean, let us check. Yeah, I mean, the outflows are very flat. The last outflows, and that was a big one. It seems that they just take profit. 3,300 Bitcoin, that was last midnight. And that's 20 hours ago. So for me, I think that looks bullish at the moment. It looks much more they are preparing a bull trap or something. We need to see what the remaining data is showing us, but that's my first observation here. Let us take a look. Miners, nothing happened to the miners. You remember we had some big, I'll show the daily view. We had some big outflows related to miners, and since then it just went back to the standard volume, so nothing big here. Also, the fund flow related to FTX, everything is fine. Okay, they demonstrated once again that was the top, and we are declining since then. And even the USDC redeemed chart is showing us also here, it seems it's declining now, but it was really huge compared. I mean, that's the whole chart, and as you can see, that means people are sending back their USDC to Coinbase, and Treasury usually burn that, destroy these coins, take it out from the market, just because the demand, it seems, for crypto is declining, and they are sending their stablecoins back and converting them in fiat. So that's something we should have in mind. I mean, the market is very dynamic. It doesn't mean that we are done and we'll initiate the next bull run, right? I mean, it's possible that we go up to 44, 45K and dump afterwards. That could be short-term bullish, but afterwards we will see a bearish price action. So we really have to be very careful. We have here high leverage shorts, and that matches very well to the leverage ratio and the funding rate. But as you can see, that's not big at all. I mean, these bars are between 90 million and 120 million, and we are talking about FTX here. So that's the same chart that I'm showing you since weeks. And we can see here some longs. They are, well, their highest one is showing here a volume of 140 million. But at 35, I mean 36K, that's absolutely, that's at least that's not high leverage. But this one are high leverage. So I don't know, really, it looks very interesting at the moment what's happening in the market. At the same time, we are trading low volume the whole day. It's very quiet, and that makes me a little bit nervous, to be honest. So we have my market maker, so at least those entities with the best trade behavior, and as you know, they started to accumulate and they are distributing all the time now. And yeah, they have stopped a little bit, but that it's not really accurate. But because I think they will distribute even more, and maybe it's linked to these big Bitcoin reserves that we have seen. This rising Bitcoin reserve, we have almost 17,000 Bitcoin on the exchanges right now. I don't know. I mean, today it's very difficult to figure out what's happening. We will check the CVDs, of course, afterwards. And let us take a look to the option trading. Also here, no big changes. We have the gamma call wall still at 50K and the put wall at 42K. It was at 44K. As you can see, they declined a lot, and 42K just took over. So we have 42K as a wall. It's going to be a challenge just to have a breakout there. And 40K is rising, is growing. So yeah, it looks like they are expecting more bearish price action. Let us check here the gamma exposure index, and we can see here we had our peaks, and afterwards the price declined. Then we had a peak here, but nothing happened. The price even went up. And since here, it seems, or at least here, I would say that's better to indicate. So since the gamma exposure index, the GAX, was at 84,000, we have started to decline, and it's declining, but we are not done here. We have still 24,000. Usually the bottom is at minus 36,000, or here a minus of 51,000. So we are still positive, and that's indicating we still have a buffer to go down. Let us check the last recent trades related to option trading, if we can see anything. I mean, today is Saturday. Usually Saturdays it's low volume trade days. Yeah, 10 million, that's nothing. That's really that's really nothing. Well, we can see if we can detect something useful for us for today. No, it doesn't look like. It doesn't look like. Bull call spread would be the only one. And well, I mean that's not bearish at all, because but it's for April, for end of April, and he just, I mean, it's not bullish because he is adjusting his expectation from 48K call to 44K call, and the same here. And he is paying more in premium, much more. So it seems he just want to reduce the risk of making big losses. So that's not really bullish, but still expecting the price will maintain above of 44K until end of April. But that's, in my opinion, not really useful for us today because I just want to see something very short term. Also here, nothing. Nothing. They are shifting to May. Bull put spread, but that's low volume. That's not a market maker at all. He is, I mean, he is just shifting from 40K put to a 38K put, indicating he's expecting until mid of April a price below 38K. But as mentioned, it's not big volume here. So unfortunately, related to option trading, nothing big. Well, then let us take a look to the CVDs if something happening there, maybe. And yes, I mean, I have checked the information and the data before, and I was wondering what's happening here because they have started to build up big with coin margin contracts. And as you know, I think coin margin futures are more bullish. Otherwise, they are reducing their profits. But stable coins are really flat. It's nothing happening today, and that's wondering. In my opinion, they are preparing something for tomorrow's. And as we know in the last few days, also related to option trading, even option traders are expecting a big move soon. They don't know if it's up or down, but they know something big is going to happen. And actually, if I check this data right now, it looks like they are right. Something is going to happen. It's too quiet for me. Too low volume. I don't know. I'm missing here something. That's nothing. I mean, yeah, okay, great. They have started here to build up coin margin futures. I mean, while the price, as you can see, I mean the price was, and they started to close them again. I don't know what's happening here. That looks very interesting. Stablecoins flat. I mean, CBD spot flat. I'm a little bit wondering. Let us check more CBDs. We have the coin margin contracts here again. We have the open interest. We have their liquidations aggregated and the aggregated funding rate. The aggregated funding rate is declining. Okay, I'm with you. We have some few liquidations. The open interest is declining. Okay, I'm with you. Of course, I can see that. But why? I think this analysis is going to to go in my history as their I'm generating more questions than answers, I guess, but I'm sorry. I mean, that's what the market is showing at the moment. Also here, funding rate, of course, the aggregated funding rate is declining. Open interest, declining. Hmm. It looks like they are planning. They are working on something that's going to happen next. That's a new chart because, as you know, FTX and Binance both, we will check the exchange walls just afterwards. And hopefully this will bring some clarity because at the moment I'm struggling. Is that bullish or bearish? I don't know. I really don't know. It looks very strange. Also, all these operations with the coin margin contracts, just raising them while the price is not doing anything, that's really interesting. and they even have started to decline, and now it's stable. So also here, no activity, absolutely low activity. I don't know. It looks like, I don't know, like they are taking some holiday, some weekend rest or whatever. We can see here aggregated open interest coin margin contract, but just to show you, I have, oh yeah, okay, that's the aggregated one, but with stable coins, I have disabled every other exchange except FTX, because FTX and Binance both are moving the price action at the moment. Both are using the same trade bots, or at least the same algos. Binance Futures is limiting the market price at the same way like FTX is doing it. So both have big correlations, and that's why I have set up two new charts where I show a little bit what's happening with their future trading. And I mean, that's really crazy. I mean, take a look. Nothing. It's nothing happening there. Really, absolutely nothing. Even the funding rate, that's the funding rate of BTC USD perp on FTX. Went up, declined, it lifted up a little bit, but that's it. While the open interest maintains like neutral. And we can see that. I'm a little bit surprised right now. And that's the same with Binance. We have here, okay, that's interesting what we see. We have the coin margin contracts related to Binance. We have the funding rate of Binance. So it went up again, it declined, then it went up again, while stablecoin futures were lifting up. And we can see here, well, what coin margin contracts. The market is killing me today. Jesus, that's nonsense. That's really nonsense. That's nonsense. We can see here the trading bots. Also here, absolutely flat. A little bit more activity on Bitfinex, but that's it. We had some activity 3 hours ago, but since then, just flat. No activity. Nothing happening. Like they really turned off the computers and said, okay, let us chill the weekend. Well, that's maybe an indicator that could be interesting. That's the market order average size and the aggregated one, taking into account almost all exchanges. And it's indicating here that the order average size is rising, while the funding rate, the aggregated funding rate, is declining. And that's bearish. And that looks very interesting. That could be for us maybe a good indicator. And we have the open interest is rising at the same time. Okay, that's at least something useful. So let us talk about the exchange walls. And as mentioned, I mean, we are talking here, that's Binance Futures. I'm always checking what Binance Futures is doing, but let us start as usual with Coinbase if something is happening there. And as you can see, you can't see anything because nothing changed. So Coinbase is not doing anything. Let us check Deribit. Ah, okay, that looks pretty interesting. We have here a wall and another one just right there. And as you can see, a lot of activity here. So pushing the price down. That's very interesting. And we have here 5 million, 7 million, 10 million, 14. Okay, let us say 25 million US dollars waiting and another 5 million there. So maybe 30, 35 million US dollars waiting between 40.4 and 39.7. Okay, that's interesting. By derivative, Binance Spot, nothing. Just always the same, but not showing here anything useful. Also here at 40K a little bit, but we are talking about 320 Bitcoin, so also not really helpful. Bitfinex. Also here, nothing changed. We can see here still those. We have here a cluster of low volume orders, here a cluster, and as you can see, we are in one of Bitfinex clusters at the moment, while the upper cluster is right here. So let me check. The cluster here reached to 40K. So if you want to go down, they have to buy some Bitcoins. Let me see, but that's the low volume cluster. We have here a wall at 41.5 with 130 Bitcoin, but that's not big. And the rest is just low volume. 30 Bitcoin, 20 Bitcoin, 50 Bitcoin, 90 Bitcoin. But I mean, that's a lot of cluster, you know. So accumulating all them, we have a good amount of orders right there. So FTX, also interesting what these guys are doing. FTX is at 46.5 it seems, limiting at 45. I will check that now. Let me see, that's 146.7, 45.9 and 45.4. Almost the same they did here. Okay. And we don't have anything in lower ranges. Just here, 190 Bitcoin at 40K. Let me check BitMax. Nothing there. And now we go back to Binance and Binance Futures. I mean, that's what's happening. They are limiting here, at the moment at least, and limiting here. So we are maintaining this price level here for a while, it seems, until they decide to remove these orders, and then we can go up or down. We have here almost 2000. Yeah, I mean, if we check here, we have in that area here, we have some thousand Bitcoins, and the same here. So they are limiting the price action at the moment to such a range, it seems. I would say that's between 42 and 43. Yeah. It doesn't make me happy today. Bitfinex derivatives. Okay, that's also interesting. They formed a cluster here. And we are here in another cluster trading at the moment. So let me check. That's 46.3 to 44, 43 to 42. FTX spot. Nothing big. We have a huge cluster here, like Bitfinex. And the same it seems in lower ranges between 44 and 45.8. And look that. That's big. They are using like Bitfinex, they are using low volume clusters. And that's here also between 42 and 38.5. But that's really, I mean, that's really low volume. 7 Bitcoin, 5 Bitcoin, 120 Bitcoin, 200 Bitcoin here, but that's nothing. My conclusion, I don't have one. I really don't know what's happening. For me, it looks like they are planning something for the coming days, but I wouldn't, at the moment, I wouldn't expect any big price action for the next hours, but because nothing is indicating that, yeah, that could happen. I mean, Binance Futures maintaining the price in that level here, and that's really a tiny one. I mean, they did the same here, right? And they are doing exactly the same here now. And that's really tiny. I mean, the price is just, it gets rejected. And the same happened here. That looks like redistribution for me, but however, I'm looking for something, a signal that gives me the idea that these guys are going to, yeah, pump or dump or something, and it doesn't look like. Even these walls here are not useful for me because FTX like to do that. I don't know exactly if that's just spoofing or, I mean, they did that here. The price reacted, they just went down. And then the price went up again. Then they have started to bring these walls again. The price went down again. And now it's stable. They had these walls here and now they placed this one. But it's not useful. I'm sorry, folks, but it's what I'm seeing here is absolutely not useful. Let us make a little summary. We have more bitcoins on spot exchanges. Nobody knows why we have this rise in bitcoins on spot exchanges. Looks like they accumulated bitcoins or are still accumulating bitcoin on the exchanges. Future trading looks, for my opinion, because the funding rate is declining, so people are expecting, yeah, just a bearish price action. The funding, the leverage ratio is rising while the open interest is rising as well. We have detected some stablecoin inflows, also Bitcoin inflows, but taking into a look to the CBD, we don't detect any solid direction. So they didn't use these stablecoins and bitcoins yet, in my opinion. They are accumulating those on the exchanges and waiting for something. Option trading, not useful, low volume. Even trading bots, not showing anything big. Just the only one is that here. a declining funding rate, and the market orders are rising. The fear and grid index 30, so that's we can check that. I mean, of course, the price have started to decline. The people starts to get some fear, but I would stay away today. If they want to make such a kind of scam pump like they did in some weekends, usually they have started to accumulate some spot. Okay, usually that's what I would expect. They would, for example, they would start to bring some stablecoin futures on the way. They would start to decline the price with stablecoins, and they would start to rise in spot and also coin margin futures. The coin margin futures rise, but as you can see here, it's declining and doesn't make any sense to me. So absolutely not useful today. I'm really sorry, but that's midterm. I'm bearish because of so many data I have shown in the past days with option trading, with stablecoin supply declining, even their reserves were declining. But right now, for today, and maybe just a forecast or prediction for the weekend, I can do it because I don't see any solid signal that give us a direction at the moment. It looks like crap. And well, that's it. I'm really sorry. I mean, I was checking the data today several times, but of course not the whole data. But I thought something changed. I detected, for example, the coin margin contracts, and I thought, okay, that looks bullish. But taking into account what stablecoins are doing, indicating that they are not accumulating, not even quick. And on the other side, we have 70,000 Bitcoin waiting on spot exchanges. For me, they are planning something. I wouldn't wonder if they are going to start to accumulate some shorts and maybe move the price a little bit more up to let us think these guys want to push the price up, and then they let it down very hard. It really, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I said that's it. I'm so sorry for you and for me, but it doesn't look solid at the moment. I think I will really stay away today from the market. And if I detect something, for example, quick accumulation or some activity here related to stablecoins, I will tweet and make a comment on Discord as well, because that's the only thing I can see. Even the exchange walls, it's not indicating anything. The Binance futures is, in my opinion, the most accurate one, and they are just maintaining the price here. And that explains why the trading bots are so quiet at the moment. They have just little quick but low peaks, indicating they are just adjusting a little bit the price action, and that explains a lot, but not useful to make any prediction or forecast where the price is going to be in 1 or 2 days. Well, let us talk about your questions. And I go to the chat, and I will see if I can find any questions here. I take a look to YouTube as well. Sibor, why nervous? Well, I mean, usually the market is really transparent and very active, very dynamic. That's what I like from the market. It's 24/7, it's dynamic, you know, you have some activity. But I mean, where are the retailers? It, it's worse than, that's really a worst case because the market, it seems it depends just by few market actors. If these guys are not doing anything, the market it's like not doing anything. No activity, no moves, nothing. And that makes me nervous because that's indicating the market is absolutely not healthy. And if they want to push the price up to, I don't know, 30, 40K down, I mean, they could do it in just, I would say, in 1-2 hours. And the opposite could also happen. If they want to push the price up to 50 or 60, they could do it in just few hours. Because I don't see here, we are trading low volume. Even the future market looks like, yeah, very quiet, not doing anything. I mean, you can see here, for example, just the transactions. Usually you see here really rushing numbers. It's very quiet, and that makes me nervous. Mm, Freya Dog, why should they not use coin margin to short? Okay, they can use that. Of course they can use that. But look, if you're using your Bitcoins, and your Bitcoins have a value right now when you are placing that as collateral 40K, and you want to short, of course, as market maker, you are going to make your gains. But you're reducing your profit because your collateral that's now 40K value, as soon as you start to short the market and you have the power to control and to manipulate the price and you push the price down by $10,000, your collateral is declining in value by each Bitcoin by $10,000. So of course you can use it, but it doesn't make any sense. It makes more sense to use a stablecoin, as the name says, it's stabilized the value. You use that as collateral and you short that. That makes more sense related to optimize your profit. But of course you can use coin margin contracts also to short, but in my opinion it doesn't make sense. I mean, if I would have 1,000, 10,000 Bitcoins, I wouldn't use them to short or to use them as collateral to short, for example. I would just use them as collateral to long Bitcoin, but to use stablecoin instead. And I have also noticed in the past, and I have also tweeted about that with the charts and indications, that coin margin contracts are lifting up in open interest more with bullish price action than with bearish price action. That's the, of course you are right, because of hedge or tax reasons. That could be, of course, an argument to use them. But yeah, that's just my observations, and as said, just to optimize the profit, it would make more sense to use stablecoins. But of course, if you want to make some loss or if you want to reduce your gain, for example, because of your tax reasons, you can make that. Demi Lapadat, guys, I think we can see 35K BTC next week. Okay, that's nice. I think 39 to 36. Okay, yeah, maybe possible. Maybe 25, maybe 60, maybe 200,000 next month. Everything is possible at the moment. The only bullish argument is that there are too many bears. Well, yes, Valitura, you are absolutely right. The market moves in the opposite way of the masses, of the retailers. So if we have too many bears, that should happen next. but I'm not sure if we have. I mean, let us take a look. Yeah, I would say it maintains almost neutral. It's not too bullish, not too bearish. I think nobody knows exactly at the moment what's going to happen next. Mm, it's just a mess. Yeah, you are right. What does midterm mean here, bro? Well, midterm is for me just weeks in the next 2, 3, or 4 weeks, for example. So when I say I'm short-term bullish, that means just I can imagine that we lift up to 45K, for example, or 44.5. As I mentioned yesterday in my analysis, I was expecting something because yeah, I was expecting that we could maintain, and that was based on some option traders that just expected low volatility and maintain a price between 42 and 44K. So I thought that that makes sense, but um, they yeah, just had its breakout, and now we are moving in a different trade range at the moment, a new one, and very well controlled by Binance Futures and FTX, it seems, at the moment. So for me, midterm is in the next weeks, short term, the next hours or one day, for example. Yeah, Freya Dog, as I said, that would make sense. If you want to use your bitcoins, of course, to hedge or for tax reasons, that would make sense, of course. But yeah, just from the angle of to make profit, it wouldn't make sense. I'm not sure if in the US right now you are in such tax cycle, and maybe that would make sense. I don't know if, yeah. Rather than RC models, I checked MakerDAO had almost 1 billion USDC from the PSM USDC A pool since March 26th. Help me, please, brother, because I don't know exactly what does that mean. They got 1 billion USDC, or they sent them back. USDC A pool, I mean, that's a lot. If that's a pool, that's really a lot. But what I have seen here as just, I mean, that's really huge. What you can see here is just we had redeemed supply 1.4 billion US dollars, and that was March 25th. And that's really interesting because I don't know what happened 22nd, but since 22nd, and 22nd is many times in my data. In 20 seconds, for example, we received more bitcoins on exchanges. And since then, also, the redeemed USDC rised a lot. And that's something that looks a little bit strange. We are talking here about billions, billions and billions. On-chain Ethereum. Oh, okay. But does that mean they used those 1 billion USDC for a pool on DAO, or did they send them back? That's something it's not clear to me. So let me check if I can find any questions on Discord. It doesn't look like. It's clean. It's absolutely clean. Okay, that's a very strange session today. If nobody has another question, then I would close the session because I can't distribute more than the data I can see. And for me, it looks too quiet. And usually when the market looks too quiet, is something is going to happen, something big. And in my opinion, they are in preparation at the moment. That's my interpretation at the moment, because these stable coins are related to derivative exchanges, not to spot. The stablecoin supply maintains really flat, and even the weights ratio 1 hour is declining since this morning. And nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. I mean, spot market 76 million, that was 10 hours ago. It's flat. Absolutely flat. Even the Bitcoin inflows, 100 Bitcoin, 150 Bitcoin, 34 Bitcoin. That's just a joke. Really a joke. That's the only thing where I'm struggling. And that looks for me like a preparation. They are preparing something. And the last time when we had such kind of scam pumps, remember, it was Sunday. It wasn't Saturdays. It was always Sunday in the last few weeks. So it can happen again that we will see some big price action tomorrow. I mean, for me that's nice. I think I will close my futures just to have a chilly Saturday night, and I will enjoy my Saturday, and that's it. I will see and tweet about the market conditions tomorrow. Hopefully, we can see much more data, a solid direction, because at the moment I really don't know. It looks very crappy and much more like preparation than we are close to. So let me check YouTube once again, because I see some questions here. All right, thanks, Inspo. You're welcome, brother. Thank you, always helpful. Okay, Mehdi. For me, it wasn't really helpful because I can't trade with such information. Pump it, Inspo. Yeah, okay. They withdrew it from our MakerDAO. Seems like they filled with USDT and took USDC out, and they redeemed the USDC. That's why the balance is down. Okay, that's very interesting. Well, that would at least explain why we had, for example, March 25. I don't know if you can check that when that happened, because we have March 25 almost 1.4 billion US dollars, and March 29th 1 billion, and even April 4th another billion. That's really big. I mean, here just in March, that was end of March 29th 1 billion, 30th 700 million, and 31st 730 million. That's really big. That's huge, and something is happening. And when they send USDC or stablecoins in general back to Treasury and redeem them, that's a bearish signal. But maybe not short term, maybe just midterm. Maybe they are just preparing something for the next weeks. And that's something I can see at the moment. Okay, I see that's it then. No more questions from YouTube. Thank you for your stream. My pleasure. Thank you very much, folks, for watching. I will. I'm not going to stream tomorrow. I'm not going to provide any analysis, maybe except in Spanish, because I did that last week. So I guess I will make one in Spanish. I will add some subtitles in English, but please don't ask me to provide Sundays also the English version, because that is my plan. I just try to support also other communities, the Spanish one, the German one, and so on and so forth, just to have a better insight to the crypto market as well. but I will check the market tomorrow and I will tell you if I have detected something useful for us. Until then, stay safe, be careful trading, and big love from my side. Thank you for watching, and we will see us Monday with the market analysis, the daily one. So thank you very much. All the best to you guys. Bye bye.